Alright, so this lesson is going to be on Foggy Mountain Breakdown. This is a really fun bluegrass tune by Earl Scruggs. It's usually played pretty fast in the key of G. I'm going to go through the chords and kind of play through the basic melody and then share some of my favorite licks to throw in this tune that could also be used in other fast situations like this. So let's start. So there are three chords: G, E minor, and D. It starts with 4 bars of G, and then there are 3 bars of E minor, 1 bar of G, and then that repeats. So 3 bars of E minor, 1 bar of G again, and then 2 bars of D, and then ends with 2 bars of G. So 16 measures total. I would recommend kind of doing this shuffle rhythm just throughout the whole tune. Just practice doing this the whole tune. Just to get the timing down. And now this is how I like to start. I use this double stop, and you could use a different one, but that works over a G chord, but this is the one I like to start with. And I like sliding into it as well. And that little phrase takes up the entire 4 bars of G at the beginning. So you could also like kind of do that train sounding thing. Or you could just play whatever you feel in the moment. And then that little slide, bluesy slide down and then up thing. So you're sliding down on your 3rd finger and then up on the 1st finger. It's kind of a fun lick to do. So that's your first 4 bars of the tune. Then maybe a slide into this E. So and then something like, so after that's the first part of the E minor. Maybe. So that I did a slide. So it slid up on the one and then down. And then you really want to make sure you land on a G, because that is the measure of G. So 3 bars of E minor and then 1 of G. Something like that. And then for the next 3 bars of E minor, maybe, and I also like, to slur two separate, personally. It's just easier for me to do that fast than, but either one, like I said, whatever you feel in the moment. And then you could do that same thing if you want. You could also do something else, like maybe do 2 slides instead of just. Like I said, the most important thing, just landing on that G. And then we have those 2 bars of D at the end, which there's, a few different things you could do, like you could shuffle your way through it. That 2 bars of G and then also, sorry, 2 bars of D and then also the 2 bars of G at the end. Or you could go something like that. And then I'm just kind of doing a little tag. So you're hearing that flat third slide at the end. Yeah, so something like that. So that the whole basic melody. Something like that. So now I'm just going to kind of talk through some different licks that you could do instead of those. So one bowing pattern that is really useful and fun for this tune is, because it sounds a lot more like what the banjo is actually doing. So that takes up 2 bars, and I'm playing that at the beginning, so over the, instead of. Helps for some reason for me to start on an up bow, and so this is the bowing I'm doing. Slur 2, and then 3 separate, and then 3 slurred. So, and then the second half was. So that was a 3 slur there at the end. So 2 separate, and then 3 separate. Sorry, did I say that wrong? 2 slurred and 3 separate. Then 3 slurred, and then 3 separate, and then 3 slurred, and then ends with 2 separate. And the fingering that is useful, so 2, 3, and then use your 1 for where that G is on the E. That way you can just leave your 1 and 2 down and take your 3 on and off. So fast it would sound like. And you could keep going with that, but just for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to do that lick for 2 bars. And then maybe like something like that. So something like that. But you could do it longer. Or sorry. I don't know, something, but just so that we can kind of use that lick in other places, I'm just going to call it a 2-bar lick. So, but then once you get that bowing pattern down, you could also use that same bowing pattern in other places. So, for example, over that D chord at the end, you could go. So I'm doing that same bowing pattern, just with different notes, over that D chord at the end. Something like that. You could also do it over the E minor with different notes. So that I'm doing, yeah. So it's a really useful bowing pattern to learn, and I would recommend practicing it a bunch slow. So let me try to do that in context. And I probably wouldn't do that the entire break. I would just choose a place to throw it in, but that was just to give an example. Let's see, another lick that I really like to do, so I'll give an example over the E minor. This is a really bluesy, kind of pentatonic sounding lick. So it's just the same thing over and over. And I also do like to do that slur to two separate bowing, but you don't have to. Whoops. Make sure you land on a G, unlike me. So it's in the place of that. This is another lick that you could use over a different part as well, like over the G at the beginning. So that's just kind of a fun lick to have under your fingers. Another thing that I like to do over the E minor part sometimes, this is a fun... Just kind of doing this slide thing. And it's actually the same notes that I was doing, but just a different way to play them. And what's really fun is to let your bow get closer to the bridge and kind of get this ponticello sound, kind of like microphone feedback or something. So just let your bow come to get that sound. It's pretty fun to do. So that's a little fun lick to do. Let's see, what else? You can also start that beginning thing a little bit differently. Like sometimes I like to do it up here. Well, you don't have to do it in third, but I do it in third position. I guess you could also go. I'm just unnecessarily making it harder for myself, but it's kind of a slidey. And then you could also do that up an octave, so either way works. I guess I like doing it in third so I can let my bow also touch the open E, so like... But either way works. So like... Something like that is fun. But you could do something else there, like this other useful lick. It's kind of an arpeggio, which is just the notes of a chord played one at a time. So like an E minor chord. You could also do down. Either way, if you do it 3 + 3 + 2 is the pattern. So 3 times, like... So it takes up one measure and it's... But you could also go. So in context, it would be like... Something like that. You could also even go up, so like... But yeah, that's a really useful bowing pattern to learn, and you don't have to use the notes of an arpeggio, but they happen to work really well, so... play those same 3 notes twice, and then just the first 2. So that's another thing. There's so many things you could do, but those are just some of my favorite ideas. Then over that D chord, you could do something else, maybe like, let's see. I don't know, that's a fun lick, so using 3rd on both strings. Something like that. You could do it down an octave. And that's just, that's a really, really popular or used lick that you can throw in anywhere. This. So I would definitely recommend learning that lick if you haven't already. It's mostly just that thing to learn. The rest is just a pentatonic scale. So that could end it. So yeah. And then as far as like a little kickoff or whatever you want to call it, intro, I like to do this. Or so if you're doing the triplet one, which I just did, you want to do up, up after it. Because then you could be down for that. So 1, 2, 3. So I'm just leading into that 3rd finger. 1, just kind of showing what the tempo is going to be. 1, 2, 3. You could also just not do the triplet, but just do 8th. And that is also something you can throw in when you're chopping to break up just. So people do that all the time, and it's really fun. So something like that. And then for a tag or a little thing at the end, I like to go. Sorry, I got cut off because my phone ran out of storage and I had to delete stuff really quick. But that tag, so it's some triplets and they're slurred. And then the flat 7 with open A. Sliding on that flat 3rd at the end. And those accents do really help. So fast. So. Yeah, so if you have any questions or requests, write them in the comments. And yeah, thank you for watching, and more coming soon.